Well, today we're gonna be ranking the best roller coasters at Fårup Sommerland, one of the Danish theme parks right here. And this one is quite special because you can't really see anything when you arrive at the park because it's all hidden behind trees except Fønix. But Fårup Sommerland is still one of the best theme parks in Denmark, and this park is home to 8 different roller coasters we need to rank, so let's go. Now coming in at spot number 8 we got Pinsvinet made by Samperla. Oh well, we had to start somewhere, and this is a very small kiddie roller coaster, but it's still a free lap special. Well, I know, the name of this roller coaster translated to English is the Hedgehog. So it pretty much makes sense that the front card is a small and cute looking hedgehog right here, but this roller coaster does offer a bit in terms of forces, but the only thing you can feel is strong lateral forces. Wow, I mean that unbanked helix does offer a lot of strong G-forces, but after that the roller coaster doesn't really offer that much. I mean, there's pretty much no space for tall people like me on this roller coaster because my restraint couldn't even go down, but I still got to ride the coaster. Pretty illegal if you ask me. The reason I say this is because it felt like I almost flew out of the ride on that strong lateral whip. Now coming in at spot number 7 we got Mina Expressen made by Vekoma. Mina Expressen translated to English is simply enough just the Mina Express, and this ride does offer a bit in terms of theming because the station looks pretty cozy and quite old. In terms of ride experience, this roller coaster is pretty decent, but it's still the typical Vekoma coaster you can pretty much find in every park around the world. But I would still recommend the back row for that whip going around the different turns because it feels kinda pacey, but I know there's one thing that helps this ride experience, and that is the surrounding area. It's filled with trees. Yeah, that really helps the ride experience because it feels like you're flying way faster than it really is, and you have a lot of near misses flying around these trees and going in between, you know. One special thing about this ride is that you at least get 2 laps on the coaster, and if the line isn't that long you could get a 3 lap or even 4 lap special. And that just makes Mina Expressen one of the best old generation family roller coasters because of the scenic location. Now coming in at spot number 6 we got Flagermusen made by Seon. Oh well, this manufacturer is just a master in terms of creating these carnival looking spinning roller coasters, but they are still out of control, and that might be bad or good for some people. But now hear me out, I do like this kind of spinning roller coaster because it's that out of control. You have some great drops, janky elements, and some uncontrollable spinning. Now I know many roller coaster enthusiasts out there don't really like this type of spinning coaster because it's, discomfortable, janky, and it can hurt some people, but that's really what I like about this roller coaster. It has a bit of charm even though it's quite horrible. Just remember, if you're sitting alone you're gonna be swinging back and forth in that seat because the restraint is that loose. And now coming in at spot number 5 we got Seon made by Vekoma. Yeah, that's really how you pronounce the name of this roller coaster, and translated to English it just means the Saw. But there's really no correlation between the Saw films and this ride. It just means the roller coaster is going back and forth because it's a family boomerang. Yeah. Even though this ride is just another typical family Vekoma boomerang, it is still one of the greatest I've tried, and that's also because of the location. Now I do know it's a very popular roller coaster layout right here, and it has already been copied, but this scenic location just adds to the experience. You fly over the water with a splash effect, and you dive under a tunnel here and there, so it's pretty much just better. That's why I'm going to say the following. Seon right here might be one of the best family boomerang coasters out there. Now coming in at spot number 4 we got Okan made by Vekoma yet again. But now we have finally arrived to a level of roller coasters where you might consider rewriting them again. Well, just like Seon, I need to repeat myself a bit again because Okan is another family roller coaster, but this time it's a suspended coaster, and yet again another awesome and scenic location, which makes it a bit better than the other ones. But with no surprise, this coaster layout has been copied yet again again many times, but it's still a great roller coaster layer with an awesome drop, especially in the back row, and that very forceful overbank turn. The rest of the ride does offer a bit of speed because it stays low to the ground where you go through 2 different helixes and a small dip down, but it's still a great family coaster. What makes Okan stand out is that the roller coaster flies over the water, and that first tunnel drop, it just looks like you're flying down under the water. Oh, I forgot to say Okan translated to English is the hurricane. Woo! Now coming in at spot number 3, we got Falken made by SNS. Yeah, you heard that right. SNS has actually created a few wooden roller coasters out there around the world, and Falken is a special one right here because it's very small but still packed with airtime. Listen up, I do have a love-hate relationship with Falken because this small wooden coaster is just jam-packed with awesome airtime moments, but unfortunately there are some awful transitions, and when you turn on this coaster, well, it's just shaky. Well, I have ridden many roller coasters around the world, but I still think Falken is one of the shakiest and most discomfortable wooden roller coasters in some parts of the ride. Now, the 2 most uncomfortable moments on this ride is first of all after the tunnel when you turn, shaky, and then you have that big helix in the end, and that's just an endless shaky experience. But in between the horrors of Falken / the Falcon, you have these great / world-class airtime moments, which makes up for the ride experience. If I needed to make a comparison, I could say that Falken is just a smaller version of the Raven at Holiday World. Ooh, coming in at spot number 2, we got Lynet made by Gerslauer. Well, Lynet translated to English just means the lightning, but this one still packs a big punch because this Gerslauer roller coaster starts off with an awesome launch filled with an ejector airtime filled top hat and a cool airtime hill. For capacity reasons, the roller coaster layout is split into 3 different parts. The first one is the best with the launch and 2 ejector airtime moments, and the second part is filled with 2 awesome inversions, and the third one is still a speedy turn here and there, and then the ride is pretty much done. But this ride still checks out every box in terms of forces. You have lateral forces, speed, airtime and hang time. The only big negative about Lynet is those restraints, and on top of that the ride is pretty janky, so you can experience a bit of mild headbanging. Now, with no surprise, coming in at spot number 1, we got Fønix made by Vekoma. Wow, Fårup Sommerland really got 4 different Vekoma coasters in the park, and that's just half of the coaster collection. And lucky for us, none of these is a Vekoma SLC or Boomerang coaster. But now back to Fønix. Since the opening back in 2022, this is still the tallest and fastest coaster in Denmark, and this Vekoma Wildcat coaster really does offer everything from awesome inversions and a dozen airtime moments. Well, you see, this ride does offer the best first drop in Denmark, filled with ejector airtime in the back row, and after that you have 1 or 2 more ejector airtime moments, but then the rest of it, it's just mild floater airtime. The stars of the show on this roller coaster are actually the 3 different inversions. That hang time filled stall is awesome, and that low to the ground barrel roll is filled with a lot of whip, and then you have that iconic corkscrew going through the station. Now, I really want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree? And remember, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. That would be awesome. Then at the end of the day, I'm always gonna say bye bye.